Hello, guys. My name is Mr. Luna, and today I'm going to explain how to solve an end inequality. Okay, so let's go right into the problem. We have this problem here, solve for x, and they give you two different inequalities. They give you the first inequality, I'm going to call it number one, and the second inequality, and it's, as you can see, an end inequality. There are two types of inequality here that we have studied. Um, in this course, and inequalities and or inequalities. Very good. So let's solve an end inequality. The first thing that you should do, and I went ahead and did it, but I'm going to explain a step by step, step by step for you, is to solve both inequalities, okay? Solve both inequalities. So I just wrote the first inequality here and the second inequality here, okay? And in this case, we have three terms. We have one term with a variable. We have a constant term. We call that whole integer. And we have another constant term. So in this case, you should try to get rid of the 60, positive 60 on the left side of the equation. What we always try to do is when we are solving for x, we want to have x alone. So you want to get rid of all these numbers that are either being multiplied by x or added to x or subtracted from x so that x is alone. Okay, so first step, you see a positive 60 here. Subtract 60 from both sides of the equation to eliminate that. Okay, the goal is to eliminate the numbers on the left side of the equation. So you're subtracting them because this is a positive number. So negative 60 on both sides. This will give you 0. This is always the idea is to eliminate that number. And remember, if you do the same thing on both sides of the equation, your inequality or equation does not change. Okay? So we did that, and we are left with negative 15x is less than or equal to 45 because 105 minus 60 is 45. Now, you have negative 15 here multiplied by x, and you want to get rid of that so that x is alone. So what do? Well, negative 15 is being multiplied by x, so you divide it. You divide both sides of the inequality by the same number, negative 15, because you're trying to eliminate that number. Okay, is what you do on one side, you do it on the other. That doesn't change the value or proportion of the inequality. So negative 15 divided by negative 15 um, is indeed 1. And here you just divide 45 minus 45 positive divided by negative 15. It's equal to negative 3. Now something happened here, something important happened here, and it was that because you're dividing a number, you're dividing x by a negative number, the sign of the inequality needs to be flipped from one side to the other. That happens when you multiply it by a negative number or when you divide it by a negative number. Okay, so here we have x is equal to or greater than negative 3. And then we do the same here. Okay, I'm going to go step by step here again. So step number 1, um, so I have positive 11, so subtract 11 from both sides of the equation. Here I will have 0, and here I will have negative 42, because a negative number subtracted from another negative number, you'll have a sum of those two negative numbers. All right, and now here, uh, since we have 14 multiplied by x, we divide 14 on both sides of the inequality. So 14 divided by 14 is 1, and here negative 42 divided by 14 is negative 3 again. So x is going to equal negative 3 or be less than negative 3. Okay, so in this case, we are almost there. We are almost there. So let's go ahead and see if I can draw a straight line here. All right. I'm gonna try to draw a straight line here. All right, it's okay. So I'm going to graph this. It's not very straight, but I'm going to graph this. I'm going to say that this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. And this is -1, -2, and finally -3. Okay, and so what is this? What is this telling me? Well, what it's telling me is that x, let's graph the first one. X is equal to or greater than -3. So that means that it must go on this direction. Okay, so it must go on this direction. Okay, you see something really interesting is that the the sign of the inequality tells you which direction your number is going. So you see it's pointing this way, so you graph it that way. Oh, that's really interesting. And x is less than or equal to -3. You see, I should have graphed more numbers on this side, but that's okay. We can actually delete this here and just continue with the line. And I'm gonna have 4, 5, 6, etc. Okay, we don't need more. I'm gonna use a different color for this. Let me use red. Okay, so there you have that. And then on this one, and make sure you understand what we're doing. So this is the first one, okay? X is equal to or greater than -3. Equal to or greater than -3. So -2 is bigger than -3. -1 is bigger than -3 because the smallest the negative number, the bigger it is. Okay? And so let's go again and graph x is less than or equal to -3. So here we have x, I'm gonna write it here, and then this goes all the way to infinity on both sides. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, you can even graph it here so that you understand what's going on. Okay, this goes all the way. So what do you have here? Well, you have that um, x is equal to x is equal to or greater than -3, and then it's telling you that x is equal to or greater than or less than -3. All right, so what should be the answer? What should the answer be? Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna give you a second, pause this video, and see if you can figure out the answer by yourself. Okay, now let's go back and try to understand even further what we just did. All right, so let me go ahead and do step number 1 for you to explain what we did. We are given an end statement. Okay, we're given an end statement. A certain x value is a solution of the statement if it satisfies both sides of the inequalities. Okay, it needs to satisfy both sides of the inequality. Therefore, the solution of this statement is the intersection of the solutions of both inequalities. In other words, the overlap of the solutions of both inequalities is the solution of the statement. Okay, let me draw an overlap so that you understand what an overlap is. If you have your first inequality goes here, and this is x is less than -3, and you have your second inequality go here, and this is x is greater than -3. What is the overlap here? Well, the only overlap here, let me choose another different color. The only overlap here is what? X equals -3. That's the only overlap, okay? If you had another one, and we'll probably see another one, if you have one that goes from here to here, and let me choose a different color. Look, this would be the overlap. That's when we enter, that's overlap, okay? That's the overlap, this part from here to here. That region is the overlap. But in this case, the only overlap is -3, okay? Because they're both saying that it's equal to. So that's the only overlap. So the solution should be x equals -3. Okay, I hope you like this video, and I'll see you on the next one.